class. I just wanted to give you a quick review regarding your elevator self-introduction speech. This is a 1 to 2 minute introduction of who you are. We call it an elevator speech because we want to give you the analogy as if you are in an elevator, let's say the Empire State Building, and you are going from the bottom floor to the very top floor, and you had to introduce yourself. Now, in practical terms, many times you're asked to introduce yourself, whether it's at a meeting at work, you're working on a project, or you're meeting a new group of people in the classroom where you're asked to introduce yourself, or just in any type of networking situation. So that's what this recording will be. And I want to go over the rubric, how you will be graded. It'll also give you some insight on how to put this together. Now, I do ask you to, when you deliver, that you deliver as if you're speaking to a person, so most likely you'll be looking at the camera. You may have a note card to reference if you want to look down a couple times, or bring your note card over here so you can reference a few key points. That's fine with me. You don't have to. Also, I want to remind you to practice this 1 to 2 minute to be sure you're within that time frame and that you meet all the requirements for this introduction. This will help you then because you're pretty much putting together a framework or a template of an introduction, and hopefully in the future when you need to introduce yourself you can look back on this. So the key here is that, any type of presentation, speech, we have 3 elements. We have an introduction, a body, and a conclusion. That might sound very familiar from your COM 101 class. And in your introduction, you want to somehow gain the attention of to whom you're speaking to, or just have a smooth way to grab the attention of the audience or the person or the group. So you see here with your rubric, the first area to grade you upon is your attention getter with your full name. So this is the very beginning, how you start off your particular introduction. You offer a smooth start. Do you go into the flow of your, into the body of your speech from your introduction, providing an overview of what you'll talk about. So, pretty much what I'm asking you to do is, maybe start off with a rhetorical question. Have you ever met someone who, hey, excuse me, let's say you're on the elevator. Have you ever met someone who was interested in rock climbing? Well, I just want to take a few minutes to introduce myself. Hi, my name is Lisa Hill, blah, 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 blah. Or you could just think about this in a meeting, like, I'm very glad to be here today. My name is Lisa Katrina Hill, and I want to tell you a little bit about myself. I'm going to tell you about my family, about my career, and I want to tell you about one of my favorite hobbies, which is traveling. Okay, so that, there's a couple ways you can approach this, but as long as you approach it with some type of attention getter, tell us your full name, and then what you plan to talk about in the body of who you are, the body of your little self-introduction speech. You go into the body here, we see, I'm looking at a complete flow of information, good logical progression. You're giving us good solid information. Perhaps you decide to follow the 3-point format, and then you tell us a little bit about who you are. In those 3 points, maybe you're going to give us some kind of chronological progression of who you are. Whatever you choose, but whatever works for you, please use it. But I do want to hear a good logical progression, good information, to go off on a tangent, talking about a situation that really is not relevant to us learning of who you are. Okay, so keep that in mind. 15 points, conclusion. Then, when you're done and you know that you have about 1 minute, you're 1 minute into this particular self-introduction, or you're finishing up, you just say, I'm glad to speak with you today, or as you can see, some kind of transitional phrase that concludes your body and goes into your conclusion. And your conclusion would be then, I look forward to meeting you, or thank you for your time, or whatever it is, to somehow sum up the information that you just talked about. And I just told you about my family, friends, and my career. I really look forward to getting to know you a little bit more. Or you could just end by saying, yeah, it was great talking with you today. You could see that, I'm really interested in teaching, or whatever it is. Thanks for your time. Okay, so then conclude in your elevator speech, your delivery, you practice, you have voice projection. Please, nothing over 2 minutes. That's the max, and nothing under 1 minute. So we're looking in that time frame. I do want you to practice this a few times, and then you see that you are within that. Well, I'm going to change that to 1 to 2 minute mark there. So that's the rubric. It's 50 points. Please practice this. You will upload or record this in GoReact, and then I will grade this rubric. Will be in GoReact, and you'll see my comments and the grade. Okay, good luck. Keep practicing, and I will talk to you again soon.